Hello, welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is your box office breakdown. Not only did Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill re-team to make audiences laugh this weekend, they also will be laughing all the way to the bank as they easily took #1 at this weekend's box office. At $60 million, 22 Jump Street came in at the high end of industry predictions this weekend and easily outperformed the first film's $36 million debut. It was a heavy, front-loaded comedy this weekend, pulling in over 40% from its Thursday and Friday box office numbers. However, critics really enjoyed the film, and audiences seemed to really enjoy it as well, giving it an A- cinema score. So, looking pretty good for Channing and Jonah to have nice legs here at the box office. Unfortunately, we have a pretty strong comedy coming out just next weekend, so we'll see how well 22 Jump Street is able to hold from this to next weekend. Flying in at #2 was How to Train Your Dragon 2, with a bit of a disappointing $50 million box office opening weekend. While this is in line with what Fox, the distributor, predicted for the movie, it is on the very low end of what analysts predicted and fans had hoped. While it is an improvement, it's less than a $7 million improvement on the first film's opening weekend. Kind of strange, seeing as audiences gave it a strong A cinema score, and critics overwhelmingly gave the film praise. Not only that, How to Train Your Dragon was a huge success, and still is a beloved animated film. So, what went wrong? I'm actually not really sure, but as you can tell if you've watched my review of the film, I really loved it. So go out, see How to Train Your Dragon 2 if you haven't. Let it have that box office success that the first had, because if you remember, the first also didn't debut all that well, but had amazingly strong legs through its entire box office run. One positive for How to Train Your Dragon 2 moving forward, though, is that there's no family film competition in sight until Planes, Fire and Rescue from Disney. And we remember how good that first Planes movie was, so I'm not sure how much of an opposition it really will be in June. Coming in third this week was Maleficent, dropping 45% to a nice $19 million third weekend out. This is a very small drop for Maleficent, and as you can see, it has already overtaken the 2 new releases that came out after it. So, will it continue next weekend and jump over 22 Jump Street and How to Train Your Dragon 2? We'll have to see. For now, we know that Maleficent has already passed the $150 million mark here domestically and continues to show strong legs at the box office. In fourth place, edging out last week's box office winner, is Edge of Tomorrow, with a cool $16.2 million second weekend, which marks a very small 44% decline from first to second weekend. That does bode very well for the film. As we mentioned, it got rave reviews from critics, really strong, a pretty good cinema score in the B range, but this is really good news. A small first weekend drop means that people who saw the movie, who loved the movie, are really telling their friends, and word of mouth is strong. So hopefully Edge of Tomorrow is able to continue on this path. It did pass the $50 million mark this weekend, and has an outside chance of reaching the elusive $100 million. So I'm hoping for success of Edge of Tomorrow. We'll see how it continues to run. Coming in fifth place this weekend is last week's champion, The Fault in Our Stars, with $15.7 million. That marks a 67% decrease. That's a huge decrease, especially for a movie that is not in the action genre, the action superhero sci-fi genre. Usually romance and romantic comedy movies like this tend to fall a little less than 67%. In all fairness, not a lot of those movies also get the huge debut that The Fault in Our Stars did last weekend. So not to worry too much, it's already crossed $80 million just in 10 days release here in the US. So, The Fault in Our Stars, while it looks like it might be even more front-loaded than we expected, still is a huge success. In other news, X-Men Days of Future Past had a tiny 37% decrease this weekend for $9.5 million. Why is that significant? It now passed the $200 million mark and has become the top summer release of 2014 domestically. Meanwhile, it did also pass Captain America Winter Soldier overseas. So X-Men Days of Future Past is looking like quite the success for Fox and Marvel. Also this weekend, Godzilla finally opened in one of the major Asian territories, making a huge $36 million in its first 3 days over in China. Just when you may have written the king of all monsters off, looks like he's ready to take a huge bite out of China and Japan's box office numbers. So let's see just how big Godzilla's box office numbers can get as it plays out a long run in China, hopefully, and opens in Japan. So that was your box office breakdown. Thank you so much for watching this edition, and I look forward to joining you all next weekend as we see if Think Like a Man 2 can keep the sequel magic running, or if Clint Eastwood strikes again with Jersey Boys and is able to take that #1 spot. Love y'all for watching. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.